Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. I'm so glad you could have.
Hi guys, this is Ben from Ben's RPG Pile, and today we're going to talk about so why all the indecision and the stumbling of words and just not a clear thought on what to show you guys. Well, I've been working on a lot of projects, and nothing has just felt video worthy. There is all sorts of cool stuff, and you've probably seen it on our blog or Facebook page. But I've been doing a lot with that paper mache wet toilet paper technique, and making wormholes and stuff like that. And I made some cool passages that kind of transition from Egyptian stone, from earth rubble kind of thing, and those have been going great. I just finished working on some modular rat rubble pile / nest kind of thing. Again, that's the toilet paper technique, and you kind of go from that to, you can make small ones here, and you rebase stuff that you take off old miniatures, and Bruce Hurst has all sorts of cool stuff you can use. You get creative with old minis and broken off weapons, and you really start to you can even make them kind of muddy and dirty and stuff like that, and those start to turn pretty good, right? I'm kind of a fan, and they're busy, yeah, but they're supposed to be busy because rats like a lot of crap, right? So I've been playing around with those, and I got a blog post on this, and I think you guys will enjoy that, but I kind of show you how I made them, and there'll even be other posts off this. So yeah, that stuff's been going great. And then I started working on, I made this, I was inspired by one of our fellow YouTubers, and this is kind of a deck that I'm going to use for critical hits and heavy damage, where you're going to get a major or minor kind of effect off that. And so I do have a blog post coming up on that. In fact, just about everything I show you guys, I try to post how-to tutorials and stuff on the blog, because the best part of a D&D hobby is sharing it with other guys, because those guys and gals help me out so much, so you always want to return the favor to other people. But the good news is I do have something to show you guys. So we start with the encounter itself. I'm a big module fan. I love working off modules, but really just following them loosely and then adding my own touches as we go, kind of thing. So, there's our map. That's what the guys in Pyramid of Shadows wrote, and that's not easy to create from a game port perspective. Water is very difficult. It takes a long time. It's expensive, but there are ways to turn this into a 3D board and have some fun at the same time. And there's lots of great DM tips I hope I can share with you here. So this is what we're going to try to build. This is our move right here. Okay. I also want to show you guys that I've been starting to do this lately. Pyramid of Shadows, there are tons of ways to go and options and hallways, and that's very difficult when you're building a game board. If there are tons of different paths they can take, you just can't keep up. You can't create this stuff fast enough, and you just don't know where they're going to go. So I have to play this one a little bit loosey-goosey, as they say, and so I've kind of been doing this a lot lately. I've been preparing my encounters in bags. So I take these nice, slick old Ziploc bags, and I have been putting the core components of each encounter in here. Then if I have time, I just keep adding to it. Here, we'll just dump it out. Okay, so there's all my stuff, right? But I got minis in there, and then I made a special item card. Look, this little water grenade, that aquatic pulse grenade that I'm going to let the monsters have and throw at the characters. So you put my stats on the back, and fun little picture. It's actually like an actual thing they used in London from a long time ago. Can you believe that's actually real? So good old Google Images. So, but I have my item cards in there. I have my minis. Oops, sorry. I have my minis in there. I'm going to show you how we made those. I got some little water markers. I'll talk about those. And then, of course, most importantly, I have my notes. So I try to write these as I go, and as I think of ideas, it's very helpful for me to have quick little notes on the encounter. So I try to write these as I go and at least put some core things in the encounter on this note card. But there's a bunch of these lizard kind of guys in the module, and I am not, as you know, probably a huge fan of repeating monsters over and over again. Orcs and goblins, sure, at times, but I don't like when the guys fight the same stuff. I have a lot of minis. I love the monster aspect of D&D, so they're going to get to these guys, but I felt that for this particular encounter, it was an opportunity to rebase a figure that I've been dying to do. I think they're 2 years old from Gen Con, and just to do something different, because part of the thing in Pyramid of Shadows is there's several gangs and factions in this crazy prison that they're in, and so I wanted to establish that a little bit sooner rather than later. So we'll get to these guys, but I don't want to use them all the time. So here's what I did instead. So there you go. Instead, I am going to keep the one of the monsters in the encounter, and that's the crazy ass harpy. Look at that nut bar. I'm trying to do better in incorporating sounds and smell and stuff into the game. I'm reading more descriptions on monsters, and I want the guys to hear things as they're going through the dungeon. And so I originally took this crazy bitch out, but I decided, hey, you know what? I am going to keep her in there because I want them to hear her singing from a distance. And so I decided to keep her in, and then I'm going to have her guarding a little nest. Oh my goodness. This is a direct from DM Scotty thing. He has an awesome tutorial on how to do these, and I highly encourage you guys to watch that video and all of his videos. He is a leader of this community. His stuff is amazing. So I'm going to have this nest in there. I'm going to have her in there, and I'm going to use that crazy charm spell and her singing. And then I'm going to have it where if one of the characters in a group decides to take this egg, well, eventually, this is the closest male I could find for a harpy. I'm going to have this dude, calling it a dude. He's just a little overweight, so he's got some man breasts. But he's going to come after them if they take any of these eggs. So we're keeping the harpies, but then we're also going to do... Oh, here it is. We're going to do this guy. And this is so gay. I'm big on cultural references in our game and taking those and renaming them slightly and resounding them. But I don't know if you guys remember Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And the Soggy Bottom Boys. Well, I'm going to do So Gay. And he's going to have a gang. And they're going to be the Water Bottom Boys. See? So I made these guys. And I'm going to show you how I did this. Very easy. There's a great blog post on bensrpgpal.com that shows you step-by-step how to do this. I'm going to go through it quick, but I think it's fun just to share. But because I want to encourage you guys to base your own miniatures, because it is a lot of fun. So here's how you do it. You snap your mini off your base. Right? Take that guy off. Then you paint your base a watercolor blue. Then you drop some rocks on that base. Then you add some flock, some tufts, army painter tufts on that base. And then you throw a little woodland scenics log on that base. And then you put some water on that base, and you use this stuff. Vallejo water effects. This is outstanding. Once you get the trick on how to use this stuff, oh goodness. Super easy. You apply it with a toothpick. It dries. They have all sorts of different variations. This is like $8 or $10 at thewarstore.com. Man, oh man, do I recommend this. At first I didn't know how the hell to use it because it's real goopy. I'll show you guys real quick. Oh boy. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's like a real crazy ass paste. But it works so well. Then your final is going to look like this. Huh? Come on. Shame on, as one of our players used to always say. So let's talk about high points and elevated points on your game board. It is a great idea you can really, I'm always trying to think of new ways to raise that spot on the game board and force the guys to climb and jump and have people shoot down on them and get better tactics. And so I grabbed these off eBay from a guy. Holy crap, is he talented. And I love to buy stuff because I know I can build this, but I always like to have a couple for inspiration and reference as I go, because I have a confidence problem in making stuff sometimes. But when I have one of the pieces in front of me, I seem to relax and do a little bit better because it guides me. But so I'm going to use a couple of these. There's the second one. Okay. I originally, this might be a little big. I'm going to try to get in camera. There's supposed to be a wood platform in the encounter, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use this bad boy. And I'm just going to consider this to be like a rock. And it'll be elevated up, but and it's going to be in the center is going to be this nest. This is where some of the water bottom boys are going to be sleeping and pitching a tent and all that good stuff. I'm going to have the harpy in a corner on one of these bad boys. But this originally just started off as a test piece, and I was just trying to figure out how to do this paper mache method at the time. But it, I don't know, it kind of turned out pretty good, and I hate to throw stuff away, and I tried to salvage it, and I'm going to use it. Biggest thing was the warping. Man, I did not see that coming. That's a tricky thing with that glue water technique. But so this is going to be the center, okay? And then you're going to need lots of bridges, so no problem. There's bridge, right? One of the very first things I made. Here's one of my bridges. I know, pretty cheesy, but it'll work okay. Another one. Okay. And then you certainly can go with made bridges. This is the Miniature Building Authority. It's a shame they discontinued this. But that's one of their kick-ass bridges. It reminds me of the Indiana Jones movies. So I'm going to use those bridges and those elevation points to form the spots in the encounter where the guys go to. So real quick, I wanted to talk about how I'm going to put minions in this encounter. I love minions. I think they're a great aspect of 4E, and they really just make the battle so much more fun. So the leader there, Soge, up here in the top, that guy right there, he's going to have the ability to do a water spell cast, and I'm going to use these little water markers that I made, and here's how it's going to work. So as a minor action, each round, I'm going to say, he gets to cast one of these, and he can put it wherever he wants. I'm going to give him a huge ass range because he's got a little bit of a magical control over this water. So this goes next to a miniature, see? And then the following round, it's replaced by an elemental, water elemental. Whoa. Like so. And this is going to be a really interesting tactical challenge for the guys because the walkways are real skinny. I want them, I'm going to have a great push effect on the monsters so I can push them into this water and then they can fight. Soge's got a couple of his water bottom boys at the bottom of the water. And so I'll be casting some minions here that I can really kind of throw a wrench into their plans. And there are all sorts of great water minions to choose from. But that's how I'm going to use these little markers. I'm going to make a little bit of a terrain minion combo just to kind of mix things up a little bit. Okay guys, so we're going to just show you, this is a real high shot. I'm standing on a chair over my table, but I want to just show you the basics here of how I'm doing this water. So that your blue base water there, that's just blue graded paper printed out. Now I'm going to tape these together for the real encounter, but this is just for show. And then see, I got those little risers there, those green little circular things. That's just PVC pipe painted black and then painted green. Okay, and then I've got some War-Torn World rocks on the sides that I'm using just to add effect. So again, water's very expensive to make and do, and so if I were going to do this with real terrain for the water, I would use Dwarven Forge. I'd go for the Cadillac, baby, and I would use Dwarven Forge to do it. But this was quick and easy, and you can download these. Those sheets there, those water sheets, as a PDF or as a Photoshop file. So if you want to take this for your game, feel free. We're happy to share. So here's the game board kind of finished off, and I'm doing my very best to keep the camera steady here. I'm standing on a chair with the iPad pressed against me. But as you can see, I added the walkways. There's 2 doors in each room. I've got everything elevated. I got some rocks in the water to add some fun combat to it. I got our little harpy nest there. I got my water minions there. But I think that turned out pretty good, huh? That's a great way to make your encounter come to life and give that board some zest with a capital Z. But I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I got to use a lot of different components. I got to make a lot of things from scratch. And I got to kind of make the encounter my own, which is always a goal as a terrain hobbyist.
With a beautiful highway. And whoops, it's history. Real estate now, it's only fields and trees. Where is the town now? There's nothing but flowers, the highways and cars. With sacrifice for agriculture, I thought that we'd start over, but I guess I was wrong. This was a parking lot, now it's a peaceful oasis. You got it, you got it. This was a Pizza Hut, now it's all covered with daisies. You got it, you got it. I miss the honky-tonks, Dairy Queens, and 7-Elevens. You got it, you got it. And as things fell apart, nobody paid much attention. You got it, you got it. I dream of cherry pies, candy bars, and chocolate chip cookies. You got it, you got it. We used to microwave, now we just eat nuts and berries. You got it, you got it. This was a discount store, now it's all turned into a cornfield. You got it, you got it. Don't leave me standing here, I can't get used to this lifestyle.
Oh man, I got flock and some of that effect on the cutting board, kitchen cutting board. Great. Hey honey, why does the bread taste so funny? Oh, no reason.